All right. Welcome to any replayers. If you're a replayer, don't forget you can still participate. You can tap on the screen for hearts. You can invite followers. You can follow if you're new. And of course, if you have any questions that you get to ask, any comments you want to make, you can, hi Sandeepa, you can make those to me on Twitter. Find me on Twitter at joannazarach or Snapchat at joannazarach, especially if you have questions you want to ask quickly. It's a great way to connect. So, good morning, and welcome to anybody who's new. And let's see, I'll do a little bit of an introduction. Hi, Sandeepa, thanks for that. Sorry, I missed your opening. Like, really, it was bizarre. I don't know what happened to our sitter. So welcome. My name is Joanna Zarek, and I do a daily money habits broadcast at 10 a.m. Central Time. And twice a week on Tuesdays and Fridays, I do a Money Matters broadcast where I dive a little bit deeply into a money topic. So what's Money Habits all about? It's about developing better habits for you. Yeah, I know, it's like bizarre. First time that happened, that a sitter just didn't show, like turned our phone off. It's like an hour later. Money habits is about developing better money habits, is for you to get a better idea of or a better set of skills. So managing money is made up of a few things. Like, one is a skill set, one is a mindset, and then the third is like, it's a habit, right? If you're looking after what amazes me in this day, we're on social media, we're on email, we do a lot of things every day. And one of the things that we still struggle with is money. It's like, if you can't make the transition to incorporate money as part of your habits, especially in this day and age when we are on computers and or our smartphones, that you're going to miss out. But what I want to talk about today is something that's actually very, very critical when it comes to money and finances and managing your finances, is making sure that you follow through, right? So I call it closing out, like closing your transaction, but the follow through on your financial plan is so, so important. And I don't mean like you have to have this elaborate financial plan and, with multiple things, because that's usually what people think of as when they like, okay, I'm going to go find a professional. They're going to create this financial plan for me. Closing out is really setting an intention to do something and then following through. I'll give you some examples that I'm doing right now for closing out. So one thing that I need to do is close out my flexible spending account form, right? Like, everything that's multi-step process is more complex. So we tend to gravitate to things that are easy to check off, right? Oh, checklist. That's why spending's so easy, right? Buying things, acquiring things is so easy. You can just go make the transaction, you can check that off your list. It's very satisfying. Extracting money from wherever it is, like, hidden in your life, it can be very hard. And so that's structurally there to make it harder for you, because again, you're the only one whose interest is to keep your money and grow it and build wealth. So it is so important for you to understand what steps you need to do to actually make sure that the money returns to you and it's back in your account. So like flexible spending account form, I have the form, I have to refill it out because I had an extra thing. I need to, make those steps and write them down so you can hold yourself accountable, because if you don't get to the end, like all your effort until then is really not, it's for naught, right? So that's why you need to have a plan for each of one of your money streams. Like when you're putting money aside from to protect it from taxes and special in accounts, make sure you know how you're going to extract it, right? And take those steps and close them out. If you find money laying around, right, like we talked about, gift cards, like I found this calculator. It's true. I found this financial calculator from long ago. I'm never going to use it. And I thought, okay, I can let go of it. And now I have to make sure I put this calculator in a box and send it to Amazon with the Amazon sticker. So Amazon Trade-in, for example, made it easier for me to close the transaction. The other thing that I think about when it comes to follow through is investing. Like, investing is all about closing your transaction, right? And so, for example, I'll use this week has been really terrific example, because it's one of those volatile stock market weeks, and you've got to set your mind to, okay, I'm going to actually purchase stock. I'm going to purchase stocks this week. And again, it doesn't have to be all or nothing transaction. But I set in my mind, okay, when this happens, when the Dow goes below, 16,000 and went well down below it on Thursday, I go and I buy the things that I actively buy into immediately are mutual funds in my kids' 529 plans. Just so happens to be right now my focus. And on Thursday, I went and I did that, right? I pushed all the buttons, right? Because again, I'm self-serve. So I don't call somebody and tell them to do it. Like, I got to go do it, right? So I went in, my Bright Start, I put the, I know the pattern. I know the steps I need to take to make sure that that transaction happens. So how do I take it to a close to actually take place? Because otherwise, it's all theoretical. Like, we all talk about it in just very broad strokes, like, oh, I should invest. No, what does it mean for you to invest? What will it take for you to close that transaction? And you need to write down those steps and make sure you do it. Because closing those transactions, actually making it happen, is what really matters in the end, to make sure that your financial plan or your money plan is being executed. And, so I'm trying to do that. I'm trying to do that for myself and making sure I'm disciplined, but also reminding everybody they also need to be disciplined. That's what closing out means. And before I leave today, I want to tell you guys a little story. So one of the things that I've talked about is I've been helping other people with teaching money, right? That's what I really call it. Like, I'm trying to teach money concepts to people. And so I'm trying to find something, so I've happened upon a couple of women that have also owned businesses. And so what's interesting is that there's a personal finance question that I need to solve for them because they're not educated, right? Like, most people are just not educated about money. And so it's great to kind of talk to them and see their financial situation and say, okay, here's the things you need to do. Like, I'm very definitive on what people need to do. And so first thing, if anyone has any credit card debt, the first thing they need to do is figure out what interest rates they're paying, and then start paying off the highest percentage credit card debt first. But just even telling someone and saying, no, these are the things you have to do, right? You have to get this done. And then if you have a business owner, what's really interesting is you can direct them to flex their income. And what I mean is to figure out what's their most profitable product. And so you need to go sell more units. And this is how many units you need to sell, right? So to me, that's very exciting to combine my passion of money with my knowledge of business, and also like the intrinsic coaching that I do as part of my consulting practice, and applying all those skill sets to see someone like move forward and like start taking action and start moving in the right direction. Because the money equation is the same. The variables are all the same. And for people who are like, oh, it depends on your situation, it actually doesn't depend as much on your situation as it like these are the building blocks, right? Like, and I was just thinking about it yesterday. I'm like, I'm harping on it now. And I'm going to be harping on the 5 building blocks of wealth, because the more I talk about it, the more conviction I have about it, and the more I see it, right? And it is those issues are coming into it. Income, right? So your income, your sources of income, how your income potential is number one, right? It's number one. We are our biggest asset. Our biggest revenue generating assets is ourselves. But we don't want to be the only income generating asset. So that's why you have to diversify, right? So first of all, you need to understand how the income, where your income goes, and taxation is your number one expense. That's why number 2 is taxes. You have to understand taxation and the role it plays into your, how it depletes your income, how much you actually keep. Then, the third one is investing, because again, I think that I see a lot of, especially entrepreneurs, make this assumption that they're that they are going to invest in themselves, because they are the biggest income generating asset, but they shouldn't be the only one. I feel like if you just invest in yourself, you are not diversifying. So you need to learn how to invest in other vehicles, right? So you need to invest. Again, market is why I go, because market's the easiest. Paper investing is the easiest. I have a good friend of mine that does real estate investing, and he's really, really good at it. Like, he actually does manage the building. He's super knowledgeable, and he's been doing it for 20 years, right? So he's scared of the market. I'm scared of real estate, right? And so we're going to try to collaborate to try to teach each other. And he's got really good ideas and really good knowledge. And so, which is really really fascinating, right? When you like connect with people over it, and he's like, I don't trust the market. I'm like, I think market's like the lazy person's investing, right? Because I'm like, you have properties to manage. I don't even know how you deal with tenants and all that, but he just, because he knows how to do that. And so investments are many, but I always tell people start with the market, because I feel like in some ways the market's the simplest. The market is the simplest way to learn about investing, and then you can graduate, right? But if you never start investing, you're always going to rely on either someone else for your source of income, or you're going to be the only income generating asset. Number 4, of course, is big purchases, where you designate the big things that you spend money on in life can really set you on a trajectory to building or not building wealth, right? They can really impact your wealth building ability. So I always think be very, very thoughtful about how the decisions you make around big purchases, and again, houses, cars, other consumable assets, as well as education, healthcare. There are big purchases that are not just like things; they're just big money buckets. Anything over 10% of your gross income, you really need to think about, and obviously anything like houses are like more than 100% of your income for a lot of people. And then manage your risk, because if you don't think about what might happen if, and this is again, I mean, I'm not down, I love entrepreneurs and the spirit that they bring to the table, but a lot of times I see them just swaying way too much into investing into that single assets, which themselves are the business, and they're not really protected. So think about all the risks, think about all the downsides, and I think the further you go in life and the more dependence you have, like once you have kids, really need to think about how you're going to manage the risk, the financial risk, to me, right? This is all about money. But that's really so I like realized those are my 5. I'm going to be harping on them. And I'm going to be talking about it. But before the last thing, so I met with a business owner yesterday. She's got a retail store, and she sells services. And one of the things that occurred to me, that budgeting for small businesses is like is a need. Is like it doesn't. This is every single client I've had so far, both the business clients as well as the people I'm helping with just personal finance. If they have a business, like creating an estimate for budget. Okay, I will check you out. Creating a budget for their business is super challenging. Like trying to project into the future. At the same time, like that, it's occurring to me. I read this article about how like the CFO is dead because the traditional financial pieces of a business where it was like backwards looking is really not becoming like more and more automated, but the forward looking piece, which means you have to understand the operations of the business. So it's like the COO with a financial flair, really. It's a combination of things and combination of data and forward looking things. And I'm starting to understand how difficult it is for people. I didn't realize how big of an issue it was. So one of the things I'm going to be focusing on for my business is to develop a small business budgeting platform, which I always start with just like a spreadsheet and getting people to put it to use, to get some examples going, like understanding what does a business owner need to try to predict their revenue and expense growth, because I'm all about profitable growth when it comes to businesses. But when you're a small business and you're an artisan, especially, or you're just very passionate about your craft, you can make money, but you just sometimes don't understand what really makes you money. So I'm really excited because I have 2 store owners that I'm going to be working with. I already have the 2 bigger clients, and one of them is kind of in the it's in the business artisan space. But I'm recognizing this as a need. So I'm super excited about this idea of developing. Yeah, right. No, and I've met other people who are like, I have these ideas, and some of them have like retail stores. Actually, like one has an art gallery. We should talk about her. And so these people who fuel this this part of our creative world, but you need to still make money, right? Like unless you're independently wealthy to begin with, then it's really, really hard to feel rewarded in a world where like art doesn't pay the bills. You know what I mean? Like you can't just exchange that for mortgage. Like you have to create a value stream out of it, a financial value stream, and you need to understand how that works and make sure it's adequate so that you can fund the rest of your life. And so that's been I'm really excited about it. Like it's the last week I've been thinking budgets, and the interesting is I'm cleaning out my office because I don't use it anymore, and I rent out an office that I'm just gonna work from home. Yes, right. But I think if you can link them, if you can link art to income and see how you can do that, I think that's really exciting. I think it's challenging. So I'm really thrilled to like get into the business of the art world, like or art design, like people who create things, and see like how to make that easier for them to generate profitable enterprises. Because that's all I'm about. I'm like profitable enterprises, right? And to give my skill, take my talents and my gifts. I don't know. I don't talk about my priorities much on this broadcast, but my number 4, parlez-vous français? Un peu. And I have this priority number 4. Yeah. I have this number 4 priority is to use my gifts to help people. And it's really like I'm finding that this passion for money and profitability is a huge, huge need for a lot of people. And I need to figure out how to get that out to more people. Both the business owners. And again, I want people who have a can-do attitude, right? Who want to take their craft to the next level. And, but I can help them navigate the money, both from a personal finance perspective, but also from a business perspective. And I'm super excited about that. I just want to share that. But, as I was cleaning up my office, I came across all these budget books that I bought like 3 years ago, because like, it's like everything is a pattern, like repeat. I was like, oh, budgets, people are struggling with it. How do I do that? So everything in life is like it's a little circle. I'm keep coming back to the same point. And the thing is, though, it's like an evolution. So every time, like, I have this idea that I want to help people with money, and I looked into financial planning, right? And, like, I did other bunch of stuff, and I came back here. Like, this is my financial planning thing. And I'm evolving in the same place, but it's this like helping people with money and helping people with numbers. So money to me is a proxy for numbers. Like helping people with numbers is an absolutely thrilling thing for me. And I'm beyond myself how excited I am about this. Like finding the actual place, the intersection of everything where I can help people with numbers and help people with money. So I'm on my way. Hi, how are you? So, where am I from? Chicago. Hello from Russia. So anyway, that's it for today. Saturday, it's all about success and figuring how to get to your success. And so bottom line is whatever intent you create for your financial plan, the most important thing is to know what it's going to take to take it to conclusion. And sometimes it's taking an extra step and just make sure it closes. So close out all your financial transactions. It's really, really hard. I struggle with it as well. So that's why I want to emphasize that you got to focus on getting there, because unless the money's hitting your bank, like all the other effort you've put into it, it just doesn't materialize. So help your money help you. Thanks everybody. I'll be on tomorrow 10 a.m. Sunday, and we'll talk some more. And then I'm generally excited about this, about what I've done so far and this journey. And so the more I do, the more excited I get in helping people with money. So thanks a lot, guys. Thank you, Sandeepa, for joining, and all the hearts. I'll see you guys. Bye.